Of about 4 in the UK. The first of these 3 messengers, powered by a 155 horsepower Circus Major 3 engine. It's a wingspan of 36 feet 2 inches, length 24 feet, maximum weight 2,400 pounds, cruises round about the 100 mph mark, capable of flying extremely slowly. Monty's messenger then, flown by James Buckingham. Here comes the Gemini, very pretty aircraft. The Gemini was built at Woodley and first registered in October 1947 and was flown just 3 days before it was awarded its certificate of airworthiness on the same day. It was delivered to Fred Dunkley. It was based at Barton Airfield near Manchester and flown in the 1949 King's Cup Air Races. There's the messenger there, giving its prowess as a very slow flying aircraft, a point which was very important for wartime use when it would be used for spotting enemy encampments. Miles messenger, powered by 2 Cirrus Minor 2 engines. Okay, I volunteered to do it. I promise I'll wave my hand. There she is. So wave back to her. Helen, congratulations. Believe you me, there is just nothing other than that little webbing belt around the waist that holds Helen onto the airplane. The feet aren't locked, the arms aren't locked at all. One has to simulate the position of the aircraft in the air to keep yourself actually standing down there. Be a trooper, keep waving to people, get very, very cold indeed, but above all, be a good showbiz personnel and have the courage of your convictions. There she is, give her a nice wave again. Both hands this time, look at that. No problem at all. I'm not quite sure what Helen does for a living. I did understand that this advertisement went into the job centre for people unemployed, but I'm not quite sure about the truth of this. The only point was that we just had so many applications to do stand on the wing today, and she now joins the ranks of such people who have flown this act, this very act that you see today on Jim Fix-It, Look East, Game for a Laugh, you name it. The Barnstormers have featured these people all the way along, all the way through there. Normally our young ladies are wearing something extremely scantily when they do minutes you're up there. They fly for about 5 minutes, so I can assure you they get extremely cold. Give her another welcoming wave there. Keep those waves going all the way up and down the line. She's going to love this. She's never going to forget it for the days of her life. I'm not quite sure what she's hanging on to up there, but there is nothing to hold on to. You just hold to yourself, and if you go, every part goes. It is a very hair-raising business. 8 out of every 10 girls that have actually stood on top of that wing when the aircraft starts taxiing scream out, "I've changed my mind, I don't want to do it." But we're very proud of Helen today. Only 22, and she now joins the ranks of those that have done it, and we only hope that the local press are covering this today to give her all the pleasure that she deserves. Let's not forget the prowess of the pilot, John Adams, who was flying the Grove a little bit earlier on. That's when it's a bit dodgy, when the aircraft goes on its side there. She's still hanging on to herself. Probably got a handbag in there or something or other and taking it up for a ride. But what a thing to talk about afterwards. How many people would like the opportunity to do it? Expensive to operate, and it's only by airshow appearances that such an aircraft as this can be kept airworthy under the care of its 29. Mike Crimby, as a 15-year-old ATC cadet from Northern Ireland, will just take a standby while the Provo goes by. He's on his first summer camp at Strawberry when he first saw and photographed WW397. 9 years later, as a serving RAF officer flying Hercules from exceptional condition and suitable for restoration to airworthiness. Full documentation. Flaps down then. Slow pass, photographers at the ready. And away in. Look at that, that's a nice one. All airshow pilots, please note, thou shalt open thy windows and wave to the watching public. There's only one airplane that sounds like that. There's only one man that flies like that. The old man of the airways himself, John Jordan, in the steerman. Cannot possibly do a commentary over the top. That is what you call an exciting sound, ladies and gentlemen. I defy any aeroplane that is flying in this modern technology world of 1986 to give such a wonderful sound that has comes out from the Boeing Stearman, out from the United States of America, and it was built, would you believe, for this type of work, not for the Crotchbane or whatever. John Jordan, aged, God, he must be hitting on the 80s or something by now, knows which way he's up. There's the deck going on with all the parachutists. It's all happening so much all together, it's just hard to imagine what's happening together. As I say, John Jordan, one of the jovial of pilots flying today, knows if he can see green, he's the right way up. If he can see blue, he's upside down. Spends his time making flour. 2 years ago, John was challenged to fly the aircraft at an extremely high height wearing breathing apparatus for a company called C.B. Gorman to test their things. He went out to the Far Eastern countries, and in fact, I believe the notes are there somewhere, but it was something approaching 30,000 feet. He took the aeroplane up wearing this company's breathing apparatus. He said the aeroplane flew very well, but he didn't go much on the apparatus. Makes flour for a living in Biggleswade. So much demand for John to appear at shows. He was in fact performing up at Barton, Manchester yesterday. Said conditions were absolutely atrocious. Nothing could fly, but the steerman did. That thing can fly in anything, any weathers, and John will keep it going. He's a grand fella. and there's not many of these aeroplanes about. John will attempt a slow pass for you now. He says attempt because it's a bit of a job to fly this thing slowly. There we are. Very, very nicely and slowly. Just holding him nicely all the way down there. Just pulling the power on the end. And the rate of climb is something rather phenomenal as well. Just hearing him talking in the office behind. John, in fact, has done a bit in the world of motor racing as well in his time. Not many things he hasn't done, really. Oh, that's a crafty move. Even advertising his flour on the side of it, Jordan's flour. There's Jordan's all sorts of things. They make crunchy biscuit things as well that are very nice. No free samples today. I think we've actually talked him into going into a bit of flour bombing later on. Guess whose flour? Anything like yesterday would be self-raising. Enough of that, though. Absolutely immaculately turned out, the aeroplane, considering the use it gets there. Where Jen gets the time for to keep it in this condition. He actually keeps it at home as well. Got rather a large lawn at home. Keeps it on there and put it down there, leave it there for the night. And of course, that rather raucous sound you get from there is actually the multi-braided propeller, which, even though it's really a dated aeroplane, is actually breaking even today. Now, this is such a exciting day for me today because we have anything between 1 and 5 parachutists. There's 20 of them today, would you believe? And between them, let's have a look, we've got 11,742 jumps amongst them all. And I reckon, now they've all got their umbrellas and there's three balloons just got up there. I'm not quite sure what that's all about. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, this is good, 13, 14, it's going faster now, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, oh dear. Sorry, the pilot had to stay in. Right, there we are. They were plummeting something reaching about 110, 120 on that very short piece of free flight. I suppose we're looking at team leader somewhere. Oh, in the dark red one. Yeah, team leader Dean in the dark. Look out, there's somebody coming in a little bit quick from our left. It's all happening. Told you they'd come in a bit close, didn't I? Look at this. Give them all a hand of applause as they come in. Beautiful. Nice one on that one. He got down a bit smartish, didn't he? Lynn George from Cranfield, that is. You got to be quick to catch these boys. They're all... You can see the ones that are hanging about. They're the girls. The American is the one in the orange, swiveling around. Oh, show off. Yes. All the way from Florida, he's got to do something like that, hasn't he? In blue, coming down next, puts the brakes on. Oh, what a gentle, delicate touchdown. Nice one. One gentleman right down the far end. Leave the speaker. Here's Dean with his bit of kit on the back. Hello, Dean. Lovely. I shall want to talk to you, Dean, so get that harness off as quickly as you can. They're still all... Oh! Now then, not too close, my friend. That's the idea. Beautiful. Look at that. Brakes on. Nice one. Big hand of applause for them there. Lovely. Any more? Yes? They're coming in all over the place. Oh, yes, from Brighton. Good afternoon, sir. Welcome. Oh, a hard landing on the runway. And why is that one over there? not been jumping very long, and Dean advised him to keep well away from the crowd. Tell us about it. Congratulations, Dean.
Well, the truth is, I don't know who it is. I started off with 14 parachutists today, and they heard about it, and 6 more turned up.
I can assure you some nice pictures can be taken of this demo this afternoon. There we are. Since 1983, a total of 3 years has taken to restore the Dove to its present condition. And coming in immediately in front of you, ladies and gentlemen, from the FAA, the Firefly. Prototype of this aircraft, first flown December 1941. Designed to take the roles of fighter and reconnaissance aircraft. First entered service with 1770 Squadron on the 1st of October 43. They made their first operational debut July 44 against the German battleship Tirpitz. Another 7 squadrons were formed and were in action in the Norwegian Foyds on armed reconnaissance and shipping strikes. But the first major action was that of the attack on the Japanese oil refineries in Sumatra. And it's interesting to note that Fireflies were the first aircraft to overfly Tokyo as the victors. This particular Firefly started naval life with 814 Squadron, July 49, as one of the first Mk5s. The aircraft left the squadron in March 1950, and after a spell in the Far East and Korea, ended finally in Australia. After a spell aboard the Australian carrier's Sydney, she was converted into a target towing aircraft in 1957. Now, for people who like buying aeroplanes, in 1966, a gentleman by the name of Mike Apps came along, and he privately bought this aeroplane, would you believe, for £160 in 1966. Brought it home to the UK in HMS Victorious in June '67. Engineers gave her a look over, and in October 1972 it was serviceable for flying. It was received back into service by the Royal Navy in later on in '72 and gave service by Phonak on this date. And of course, it goes without saying, the aircraft now flies as part of the RN Historic Aircraft Flight. Yes, well, it looks as though it's the demo from the Singersbury Firefly, and we've got to make this very clear, the T-67M, flown this afternoon by Paul Bishop, a commercial flying instructor at Trent Air Services. technically minded, a little bit of the general specification of the Slingsby, certified to the aerobatic and utility categories of FAA regulations, approved to British civil airworthiness requirements. We will be pleased to know, ladies and gentlemen, that Paul Bishop is in fact out of the aircraft and is walking around okay. So we can turn our attention now to the rest of the show. The aircraft you see flying in fact served with the Navy from 47 to 54. And after then, some continued operating with the RNVR Air Division until they disbanded early in 1957. By the time that the Korean War broke out in 1950, the Sea Fury was the FAA's leading single-seat fighter, and it fought with distinction throughout the campaign. Although used chiefly in conjunction with Fireflies for ground attack duties using bombs and rockets, the Sea Furies also fought the much faster MiG-15 jet fighters. The Fury has a very credible performance for its era. A maximum speed of 460 mph, and it can climb to 30,000 feet in 10.8 seconds. The aircraft flying today, TF-956, was the very first Sea Fury that FB-11 produced by Orca Aircraft in 1948. After early service at various air stations, including RNSAV Yulverton, it went to Korea and served on board HMS Theseus in 807 Squadron, and is now painted in the colours that was worn during that period. The aircraft retired from RN service in 1963, having flown 1,406 hours, of which 213 hours had been flown in Korea. After surveying the aircraft and finding it was still in excellent condition, and bearing in mind that it was the first FB-11 built, decided to renovate the aircraft to join the last Flying Heart and the last Hurricane ever built in the collection of historic Hawker aircraft. The power plant in this wonderful aeroplane, the 2,480 horsepower Bristol Centaurus 18-cylinder sleeve valve radial engine with a 5-blade Rotel propeller. As we were saying before, 460 mph at 18,000 feet. Normally would carry 4 20mm Hispano Mark V cannons, 1,000-pound or 2 500-pound bombs, according to the role. Today's pilot, Commander Keith Harris. who took over from the original pilot,